So when is the best time for you to apply to physical therapy school? Well, that is a great, amazing question. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's one heart, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the...
What's up, guys? My name's Casey Coleman. I'm a physical therapist and the co-founder of Pre-PT Grind. And on this video, we're going to be breaking down when is the best time to apply to physical therapy school. And I got five ways for you to know if it's the best time for you individually to apply to physical therapy school. We're going to be going over some concepts for you to think about and break down to kind of tweeze out to know if this is the best time for you to apply to PT school. So before we do that, like, subscribe, share, comment. You guys have been doing amazing with that. Thank you so much. It's been helping us a lot and it helps us find you again. So when we post a new video, it'll find you. YouTube will find you and do that work and let you know we have a new video coming up. You can also hit that bell notification so that you're notified that we have a new video dropping. So thank you so much for doing that. We greatly appreciate it. So this topic is important because we often see pre-PTs, and this was myself included, looking to other pre-PTs and using them as signals to know if we should do something. And oftentimes that's not the best thing to do because other pre-PTs might be in a totally different situation on a totally different timeline with totally different factors influencing their decisions and influencing their application. So it's kind of like you driving a car and you looking into somebody else's car and seeing where they're going on their GPS when that GPS isn't giving you your destination that you want. It's like saying, oh, that pre-PT is going to Florida. Oh, I should follow them, even though you're really trying to go to Washington State or something like that. Or another analogy is like looking into their car and seeing that they need a new tire or their check engine light is on. And you're like, oh my gosh, their check engine light is on and their tire thing is on and I should do that for my car. But on your dashboard, it doesn't say anything like that. It says you need an oil change, but you're looking at their car and saying, oh, I need a new tire or engine, whatever that is. That's how it's like. And oftentimes pre-PTs get tripped up by following other signals for other pre-PTs when that isn't really their signal for their path to get into PT school. So here are 5 ways to kind of list some things out and to think about some things to know if you're in a good spot for you to apply, not necessarily looking at the herd and just following them blindly. So number 1, got my trusty notebook. Number 1 is really for that textbook student, for that traditional student who's going right through community college or undergrad and wants to go right into physical therapy school after they graduate undergrad. Okay, so traditionally you would apply between your junior and senior year of undergrad in college if you want to start physical therapy school right after you graduate. So let's just take a normal timeline and say your particular undergrad school graduates you in May and you want to start PT school that late summer, early fall, like right after you graduate. You graduate in May, a few months later you want to start PT school in August. That means you would need to apply the summer between your junior and senior year, so that you would get accepted, you would graduate, you would get accepted into physical therapy school, you would then graduate undergrad, then you would start physical therapy school right after that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do this. The other points will clarify if you should, if you shouldn't, if you're even in a right place to do that when you think these thoughts through. So that first point is really for that textbook traditional student. Everything else is for people in any situation, career changes, children, taking a gap year, wherever you are, these other points apply to you. So number 2, you have to think about, are you done with all of your prereqs, meaning prerequisite classes that you have to take that the PT school requires, or will you be done with a majority of those prereqs before you apply to PT school? Now, to clarify, when I say a majority of prerequisites, traditionally, you can leave 2 out, meaning you can still have 2 classes kind of pending that you're in the process of taking that fall or that following spring. Okay, so you can have maybe another one slid in there, but let's just stick with that. If you have 2 outstanding, or you will have 2 outstanding, that can still be okay. However, it is best for you to have a majority, if not all, of your prerequisites in and done by the time you want to apply. And that just helps your GPA, and that helps give the school or schools that you're applying to the best, biggest picture as to what kind of applicant you are and what you've done in the past. Because if you have 2 classes pending or 1 or whatever, they're looking at those classes like, okay, great, she's taking these classes, but we don't know if she's going to get an A. We don't know if she's going to fail. Right now, you have a 3.3 when you apply to PT school with everything that we see. If you fail those 2 classes, is that going to bump you down to a 3.0? We don't know how you're going to do, so we have to wait for that information to come through. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can still have that. People have gotten in plenty of times with classes pending. However, if you can avoid it, and you're asking the best time for you to apply is if you have all of your classes in. You don't have to. It's not a death sentence, but please understand that it does bid you well if you have all of your classes in before you send in your application. So you can have some summer classes in, and let's just say your deadlines are in October for your class. You can take some summer classes, bump up your GPA, finish those, get those transcripts, have that all completed. Boom, your GPA is up, or however you need it to be. Your classes are in. Then you send in your application in September or October before your deadline. That's great. That's great. So ask more questions in the comments if you have them, and I'll be sure to answer. So that's number 2. Number 3, do your stats match the programs you want to apply to? Okay, do your stats match the program you want to apply to? Or again, will they match when you apply to physical therapy school? So let's just say you want to apply in a year. Your stats right now might show that your GPA is a 3.0, prerequisite GPA, or cumulative, but your GPA in general is a 3.0. And you know the schools generally accept students with a 3.3. Your GPA right now isn't a 3.3, but will your GPA be a 3.3 best case scenario if you do well in the classes you have to finish? You following me? Going back, that ties in a little bit with number 2. And if it will be closer to matching the stats of the school or schools you want to apply to, then great. You know that you might be in a great place for you to apply coming up whenever that next cycle opens for you, or whenever that deadline is for you. But that's a question you have to ask yourself too. Do your stats, meaning GPA and GRE mainly, does your GPAs, your different GPAs, and if you don't know about the different GPAs, just go through our YouTube channel. I talk about those as well in other videos, or I might even put a little button or a little card up there for you to click for some more videos about GPAs. But mainly GPAs and GREs, do your stats match, or will they match by the time you submit your application and apply? That's what you have to keep in mind as well. If you're way off and you're like, I have a 2.5 GPA right now, but the schools that are on my top list and I want to apply to generally or averagely accept students with 3.6 prereq GPAs, well, I could apply. I could flip a coin, I can shoot in the dark and see what happens, and maybe it's not impossible. You could get into some school out there. You could take that chance and pay PTCAS and all that stuff, send in your applications. But is there a good probability of chance of you getting accepted? That's what you have to think about. Or is it better for you to wait another year or wait a few more months to get some classes in to make your prereq GPA closer to the schools that you want to apply to, closer to the average accepted prereq GPAs to the schools that you want to apply to, so that you're more attractive to them, so that you stand out more. So that's what you have to think about as well. And if you're not there, now might not be the best time for you to apply. It might be more advantageous to you to wait until you get those other necessary requirements up for you to get into PT school of your choice. So that's number 3. Next, number 4, are all of your ancillary requirements done? Or again, will they be done by the time you apply to PT school? meaning your essays, your letters of recommendation, your observation hours. If you're struggling at this time getting observation hours, shameless plug, go to observationhours.com and get some virtual observation hours from us. Just start. You can get some today. Like if you go through the introduction videos, we'll give you hours today. More information on how that works is inside. So just go to observationhours.com. You'll see it right there and go ahead and sign up. But letters of recommendation, observation hours, your essays, extracurricular activities, experiences, any overseas trips you're going to go on with the school, any research that you're doing with a faculty member, any local experiences or volunteer activities that you're still doing or want to do, any certifications, the list goes on and on. Are your ancillary requirements going to be done, or will they be done, a majority of them, by the time you want to apply? Now, with ancillary requirements, they're not as strict. You don't have to be as strict and finished and done with them like our previously mentioned factors, like your statistics, like your GPA and GREs. But you could have some of those in progress. But it's more advantageous for you to have a lot of them either started, completed, or still in progress, because you don't have to stop them, of course. If you're doing experiences, like if you're a referee, you don't have to stop being a referee. Like, okay, my application's here. No, you can still have that in progress. But are they started? Are they in progress? Or if you're finishing them up for some reason, are they done? Do they have a full picture? You want to give them the best, fullest picture of where you are, and what you're doing when you apply. So that's what you have to keep in mind as well. The ancillary requirements, are they done? Will they be done? How is that looking for your application? Okay. The last one, number 5. Number 5. This one's more straightforward. So, okay, Casey. Okay, pre-PT grind. I have a lot of those done. Now I'm waiting on my deadlines. If I'm just waiting on my deadlines, when is the best time to apply? Or I'm trying to get everything in. How much time should I leave? What's my cushion? And I'm going to say I'm comfortable with about a month to 2 months before your deadline is a good time for you to have your stuff done and sending in your application. Now, can you do it the day before at 11:59 Eastern time, send it in, push that button, and still get accepted? Of course, you can. You can. It's your application. It's your career. It's your life. I'm just here to guide y'all. I'm just here to help you out. So you can submit the day before, the minute before. But for me personally, working with the amount of students we've had, I'm comfortable with you guys applying a month to 2 months in advance, if not more, depending on when your deadline is. So give yourself some cushion, give yourself some space to get everything processed and to get everything in, and for the system to process all your stuff. Y'all know how stuff works. You want some time. You want a little cushion. So again, that's not set in stone, but that's my personal opinion of what I've seen a lot of students be most comfortable with. Okay. So now finishing up and having you guys think about some other life factors as well when applying to PT school. So if you went through all 5 of those and they apply to you, or you pick out the ones that apply and you have some things you're writing down and you're thinking about, what other things can come into mind which can possibly influence when the best time for you to apply to PT school is? Other factors could include if you just want to travel, if you want to take a gap year just for yourself, if you've been in school since you were, when did we start school? 5, kindergarten, 4, whatever. 4 until, if you're that textbook student, 4 until 18, 19. Do you want to take a gap year and travel? Or work somewhere else, or get some other experience doing something? Maybe. Do you have children that you have to care for, and now's not the best time? You might have all 5 of these done, but your children might be in a place where it's not the best time for you. Are you moving? Do you have enough money that you're comfortable with to apply to PT school with? Do you want to save up some more money so that you won't be in so much debt when you graduate PT school? Do you want to pay off or pay through a big chunk of that cost through before or after PT school? What's your financial situation? Does that factor in for you? Do you want to work in between? Are you a PTA, a physical therapy assistant, where you want to work and get more money, or an exercise physiologist or massage therapist, athletic trainer, personal trainer? Do you want to work more? You might have all 5 of these done, but for you, you might be in a situation where you personally want to do some other things before you apply. And that's totally valid. And do you have other career interests? Maybe PT is at the top right now, but you know, medicine or PA, being a physician's assistant or nurse is right there. And you're like, I'm not too sure. And this career decision thing is a big thing for me. I don't know if I'm ready to choose yet and fully apply. That's great. All of that is great because what? Physical therapy is not going anywhere. It'll be here in a few months when you make that decision. It'll be here in a couple years while you're getting all 5 of these things done. It'll be here while you save up money. It's not going anywhere. So you don't have to be in a rush to apply to PT school either. The best time for you to apply to PT school might be later than most. I didn't say the best time to apply to PT school is tonight. No. The best time for you to apply to PT school might be in 7.5 months. It might be in 1.5 years. It might be in 3 years while you finish up something else you want to do. It might be tomorrow, whenever you're watching this video. But the main premise, that's why I started with some of the things I stated at the beginning. This is for you. When's the best time for you to apply to PT school really depends on a lot of these factors that we talked about. So don't be so easily swayed and influenced. If the wind blows that way, like, stand strong. Like, this is your life. This is your career. This is your application. This is you on your license, on your physical therapy license. It's not going to say all the other pre-PTs that were saying, oh, apply this time. Oh, apply that time. I'm doing my GRE this. I'm doing my GRE that. No, none of them going to be out on your license. None of them are going to give you their acceptance. None of them are going to take the NPTE, the board exam for you. None of that. So since it's your application, your life, don't be so easily swayed. I know it's easy. I know you see other people doing stuff. I know, I get it. I get it. That's just how life is. But we have to keep those things in mind so that you know when the best time for you to apply is. So keep those factors in mind and you will be in a great position to know when you should apply, when the best time for you to apply to PT school is. So hope you enjoyed this video. Tag your friends. Again, like, share, comment. You guys have been doing great with that. Hit that notification bell, the notification bell. Follow us everywhere, podcasts, all that stuff. Get into our world, get into our ecosystem, and you will be on your way to getting accepted into PT school. And hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.